Hi, everyone. On today's episode, I had the privilege and honor of speaking with Crystal. She is a writer, a speaker, and most importantly, a mama to her baby Story via surrogacy and her sweet baby Everly in heaven. We got to talk today just about her journey to motherhood, how she navigated loss, her beautiful journey with her amazing surrogate, and what life is like now, and all of the ways that she has celebrated and navigated all of those different big moments. It was an amazing time with Crystal, and I am so, so grateful. And I know this will be so beneficial to anyone that has experienced loss or anyone who knows someone that has experienced loss. So please enjoy listening to Crystal. Me, you, and who? Who knew it would take more than two people to have a baby? In a world where infertility is no longer a taboo topic, this podcast will take you through all the different aspects of surrogacy and egg donation through the lens of many who walk this journey in different ways. My name is Whitney Hall, and I am a two-time surrogate, now turned surrogacy coordinator for Egg Donor and Surrogate Solutions, the very agency I used when I chose to carry for two amazing families. With this podcast, it is our goal to help guide and support you as you learn about what it takes to grow a family in an alternative way, as well as hear inspiring and beautiful stories of how this path has changed lives forever. We can't wait for you to hear about just one more way happy families are created every day. Hi, Crystal. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Oh, it's so good to see you. It is so, so, so good to see you. I am so happy you are here. Oh, and I just cannot wait to chat and just do all of the things. How are you?
I'm so good. I feel like we have been through such a journey. I'm so excited to talk about it with you.
Yes.
Baby girl is downstairs
Oh my
and getting
gosh.
some good grandma snuggles while we chat. And
Yes.
she is
Yes.
just a dream. Like, she
Oh,
is the best baby. We're having a blast.
of course you
I
are.
may never let her learn to walk. I may just carry her until she's like 15. I don't know.
Uh-huh. No, I say this to my sister had my sweet little niece, she's 8 months old, and I tell her all the time, I'm like, anytime, she tries to walk, I'm just like, just push her down. Just push her down. No. Don't let her do that. Oh my gosh. Well, okay, I am so excited. We're jumping ahead because we're getting to the fun part,
Mhm.
right? Because we want to hear all about baby. But
Sure.
let's go back. Let's go back. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, so you and let's go way back if you're okay. Because
Totally.
you and Tom, you guys started this journey obviously long before, we even got here.
Hmm.
So tell me, what led you to this?
Okay, so we started a journey way back. I think our journey has been like 7 or 8 years at this point.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We tried to have children the way that everybody tries to have children, and that did not work. We did a round of IVF and failed, and it didn't work. And then
Mm-hmm.
did our doctor said, you know what? We'll just do a drug-free IUI. They don't work, but it'll be something to do until you decide what's next.
Sure, sure.
And it did work. And I
Yes.
got pregnant with our first Everly, and that was
Yeah.
2021. We were pregnant with her for 26 weeks when I had the worst preeclampsia.
Mm,
It was scary, and I will spare you all the details, but suffice it to say, it was life threatening for me. It was life threatening for her, and it
yeah.
all happened really, really fast. And so we made
Yeah.
the decision to deliver her when she was 26 weeks. She was like so little, and she was a
So
pound and
tiny.
4 ounces.
Mm.
And the most perfect, her name is Everly, she's just the most perfect baby. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and they told us if she lived for 7 days, we were probably going to make it. And so we
Wow.
didn't tell anybody for 7 days that we had her, and when she hit that milestone, it was like, "We're gonna make it. She's gonna
Oh,
make it." And
wow.
She did until, on day 19, she got an
Yeah.
infection, and when they're that little, infections move really quickly, and
A
when
bit,
you have
yeah.
that many tubes and things happening, it's easy to get one, and so, we lost
Mhm.
her when she was 19
Mm.
days old, which was just the worst day,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
what very quickly, and I mean, like, days after her funeral, we were having a conversation about whether we would even ever try again. And
Yeah.
what she taught us was that we were meant to be parents. And I don't think we knew
Mm.
that before her, even though we were trying. We were trying because that's what you do when you're approaching a certain age. You just try. I don't think I really knew if I wanted to be a mom, even though we were trying, until I
Yeah.
held her. And when I held her, it was like
Mm.
the world became color after being black and white. I mean, it was like whole new world.
Mm.
We're meant to be parents. How do we not go through this again? And so we met with a lot of doctors,
Yeah.
and I spent a lot of time turning grief into anxious Googling and just
Oh,
reading
oh, and
every
Dr. Google is so flighty.
I read every study. I ended up contacting a doctor who writes the textbooks on preeclampsia, and essentially
Oh,
what it came
wow.
down to was depending on your type of preeclampsia, it may come back or it may not. The kind that
Mhm.
I had was very, very likely to happen again, and I was
Mhm.
very, very likely to lose another baby and potentially die in the process. And so
Mm.
the doctor, I will never forget what he said. He said, "Crystal, do you want to carry a baby or do you want to carry a baby home?
Oh,
Because if you want to
wow.
carry a baby home, it will be with a surrogate." And it was just
Wow.
so clear, and I was so thankful because so often medical professionals, rightly so, are just, "It's your decision, here are the facts," and he was
Sure,
so
sure.
clear, and it was so
Mm.
helpful to us, and so we we went kind of ham, and we assembled a team of advisors and mentors that we trust, and
Yeah.
wrote out all the statistics for every possible thing we could do and sent it to them and said, "We need you to tell us what you think we should do because we're surviving grief right now. We're not seeing clearly. Can you help
Yeah.
us see clearly?" And none of them knew each other. They did not know that other people were being asked the same question. And
Uh-huh.
every advisor came back with surrogacy as the answer. And it felt so
Mm.
like confirming of, okay, this is the direction. We don't know how we're going to pay for it. We don't know how it's going to work.
Yeah.
I thought this was something Kardashians do and maybe nobody else. So it was really fascinating to go, okay, I think we're going that direction. Um, we were 2 months out from our baby passing, and we were interviewing agencies, and most of them, if I'm being honest, no shade, they're all wonderful. Um, but it was very clinical and it was very transactional.
Mm, mhm, mhm.
And then I called Surrogate Solutions, and it was the most different conversation. I
Yeah.
talked to Gail, who had been there for
Gail.
a long time, and it was the
Yeah.
most beautiful human conversation, and she was willing to talk with me about all the thoughts and fears about, is this even ethical? Does it hurt the babies? Does it hurt women? What does this mean? And it was such a beautiful conversation, and at the end of that, we said, "Okay, this is the direction we're going."
Yeah.
I may be
Yeah.
getting ahead. Do you wanna talk about the
No,
next one?
yeah.
That'd be
No,
great.
no, let's get no, you're good. You're good. No, no, no. Yeah. Oh, so much good stuff there. And I want to unpack. So let's go back. So you have, just your gorgeous Everly
Yeah,
and, and you get to have that precious time with her. And then I know it was the best and worst day in the sense of I remember
yes,
you had mentioned like your nurses, they were guiding you like we're going to do these firsts even on this day, and you
yes,
have all of those crazy bittersweet memories with all of that, and then in the midst of all of that you're figuring out, I want to be a parent. What does that journey look like? Not only am I grieving my daughter, but now I'm trying to
yeah,
figure out how to have, how to be a mom, again to an earthly baby. And what was the comfort, like what were things that were comforting you during that time as you were
Oh,
just getting through grief and discerning? I mean, so much happening all at once.
that is such a good question because there was so much comfort needed. Like I can smile and talk about Everly now, but when you and I
Yeah.
first met, I could not. It was just
Yeah.
weeping every time
Yeah.
because we were just going through it. So I have an incredible therapist named Tanitra, and she
We love a therapist. We
we
love a
love a
therapist.
therapist. I can't I can't see how people survive this kind of trauma without therapy. Tom, she was my therapist before Everly. I called her the day after Everly passed away, and Tom just sat down on the call with me. She had never met him, and she has
Yeah.
counseled the two of us since. We had a call with her last Friday. But
Mm.
walking through that with her has been so helpful. There was a perinatal loss team at our hospital who is awesome.
Yeah.
They are called the Heartstrings team at our particular hospital, and they connected us with a support group for parents like us, which
Mm.
I can't think of anything that sounds like more of a downer than a Zoom call with a bunch of people who just lost a baby. Like, I did not want to
Yes.
go the first time. I thought this is going to be even worse. Like, we're in the worst
Right.
part
It's going
of
to
our
make
lives,
it
and this is
worse.
going to get worse.
Yeah.
And it was the best thing that could have happened to us, meeting other parents like
Mm.
us who said the same things we said.
Mhm.
Other dads who were saying, I sleep with a pink teddy bear at night." Like, because
Yeah.
that reminds me of my baby. That kind of like normalizing and, "Oh, you guys do that too? You're nervous about birthdays and Christmas too?" Like, oh. So the grief support group was great. We still have lifelong friends, some who have gone on to have more
Mm.
kids, some who haven't. Um, from that group, there are some gatherings each year where we see each other in person, and it is just beautiful and precious and sweet
Yeah.
um,
I
and
love that you keep Everly alive in this way. Like you are like this, you celebrate her. You celebrate birthdays, you celebrate Christmas, you celebrate all of those big moments with her. That's huge.
for sure. And I don't think I mentioned her original due date was Christmas Day.
Mm.
So it just made the holidays feel messy. Like
Yes.
it was happy and sad, and it was her due date, and also she wasn't there. And
Yeah.
so we decided the first year that we wanted to do something to honor her on Christmas morning, and we weren't sure what that looked like.
Yeah.
So we ended up buying gifts for her nurses because they were her first friends, and they were the ones who knew her and saw her alive and loved us well. And so we went and took just some goodies to the nurses that Christmas morning. And I happened to stop at a craft store the day before, and I saw those ornaments that say, like, "Baby's First Christmas 2021." And I
Yeah.
realized if you're a parent in the NICU, you can't go buy those, and they won't be here next year. So we went
Mm.
and made sure that we got Christmas ornaments for the families in the NICU. And that
Oh,
has
I
just
love
become
that.
our Christmas morning tradition. We did our third Christmas this year where we went and visited the NICU Christmas morning, and we're able to go visit nurses. A lot of them don't know who we are anymore, and that's fine. It's weird. We're like, "Hey, we're a family who brings cake on Christmas morning. Just deal with it." This is a thing we do. Um,
Oh, I love that they don't know you though. I love that.
yeah, so many have moved on and gone to different places. Some still do, and those are like the most beautiful family reunions because there's
Yeah.
just something about being with somebody who knew your baby alive.
Yeah.
And her grandparents don't remember her alive. Nobody else saw
Mm.
her but us and her nurses. And so
Mhm.
getting to see them has been so sweet. And I've run into a few of them at different places, and it's just like they're just such superhumans. So
Yeah.
nurses are lovely. There's also a resource because I know a lot of lost parents will listen to this podcast who are on the same journey that we are. There is another podcast called Joyful Morning, and it would be a
Yeah.
problem to not point it out because It is specifically for moms who are grieving, and this podcaster has saved my little heart over and over and over. There are so
Mm,
many episodes like how to handle the holidays when you've lost a baby. And it was
yeah.
her who said for the first time to me, um, you don't have to get it right this year, and you don't have to do it the same way next year. And you're not a bad mom if you don't celebrate this year. And you're not, it's not that you don't care about your baby if you celebrate differently next year. It's fine. And it was just so
Yeah.
relieving. There's an episode to send to family members on what to say to a grieving mom.
Oh, that's super helpful.
Oh, it is incredible. And their website is themorning.com, just
Yeah.
MORNING. But they even have like how to plan a funeral resources.
Yeah.
So all the shout out I could send, I could not be more grateful for. I think her name is Ashley. I don't know this person, but I'm so grateful.
But she saved you. But she saved you during a really, really, really tough and time. Yeah.
We
And
were taking in all resources at that point. Anything that made any sense at all, we were happy to
yeah.
take it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then amidst all of that,
Mhm.
now you're trying to, okay, we still want to grow our family. What was that? I mean, you already said you're talking to the doctors and the advisors and everything like that. How are you and Tom even just discerning all of that all at once?
Yeah, I mean the advisors were very helpful because you know this, if you're grieving or if you've experienced trauma, you're not thinking clearly.
Yeah.
And we knew we were not thinking. There was a season where I felt like I couldn't drive because my brain was
Sure.
just not functioning appropriately. So I wished at the time we could have had 2 years to heal and then make this decision. We're old. We didn't have that luxury. So, we could not wait that long, and so, just finding a group of people that we love and trust. Some were family members, some were, coworkers who were a little bit further down the road than us.
Mhm.
Some had had fertility struggles and some hadn't, but they were all people who made wise decisions in their own life and who loved us
Yeah.
enough to tell us what we did or didn't want to hear.
Yeah.
And so we sent them all a letter and said, we're never going to remind you of this. So if you decide not to answer, that is okay. But we're not going to ask you over and over. You can let this slide because this is a big
Yeah.
life decision. But if you choose to weigh in, it would mean a lot to us. And we sent them all the research, and several called us with follow up questions. Some came to our house to sit down with us and said,
Wow.
I want to understand more. And at the end of all of it, they all said the same thing. And
Yeah.
it was so good for us feeling like we were on shaky ground going, I don't think I'm thinking clearly.
Mhm.
What do you say? Because there was a part of me that thought maybe I should carry again. Maybe I should try it. Maybe it's selfish to not try it. And
Mm.
I wasn't thinking clearly enough to go, hey, they told you there's a 70% chance you're going to die in this. Like that's, I wasn't
That's big
thinking.
stuff. Yeah.
But
That's a big statistic right there.
the people who love us enough to say, "Hey, we're not gonna let you make a choice that's gonna harm you. We think this is the right way to go, and we're gonna be with you every step of the way." And so,
Mm.
um, honestly, I learned everything I could about surrogacy, and part of it was listening to podcasts just like this one, and listening to
Yeah.
episode after episode of what works and what doesn't. And I remember there was a particular doctor on a podcast, I could not tell you which one, who said, if you're willing to stick with it long enough, you will take home a baby.
Mm.
Statistically, it's going to happen. And I
Mm.
just thought, okay, okay, I think I can stick with it long enough. If we
Yeah.
have a loss, because I was thinking, oh my gosh, what if we do surrogacy? What if we have a loss? Uh, Foreshadowing, we did. If you just keep going, you will
Yeah.
eventually have a baby, and that was so helpful for me to hear that. So,
Mm.
there was lots of podcasts,
Yeah.
lots of
Lots of
talking.
research. You're a research girl.
I am a research girl. I am a nervous Googler.
Oh gosh, I love it. I love it. And amidst all that Googling, you found us. Here we are. And so then what was, so we'll kind of, I shouldn't say fast track, but like I mean, you're still in the midst of all of this, of
Mhm,
just grief and, all of that. And now it's okay. Not only are we dealing with, working through our grief, but now we're about to go down the avenue of hope
mhm.
of we're hoping for, our to grow our family. So you're like on all of the roller coasters everywhere. You've got a theme park going on, girl. And now we're in the okay, you've just decided, all right, we're gonna move forward with this agency. We've got to figure out how we're gonna pay for it. Now we've got to hope that we're gonna get matched. All of that. What was all of that
It was it just seemed so impossible
like?
at first. It just seemed like this is not a thing real people can do. I mean, when we looked at the cost of it, it was
Yeah.
not everybody who has ever looked at surrogacy knows there is a price tag. Um, and
There's
what
a price tag
was
with IVF. There's a price like even before
yes,
you get to
all of it.
surrogacy, right? Yeah.
And there was this moment where we realized in everything that had happened in losing Everly, we kind of missed that it was open enrollment for insurance. Like we were just had bigger fish to fry, you know?
Oh, did
And
you?
so my husband was at a new company. We hadn't even really explored his insurance stuff at all.
Yeah.
And we were looking at his policy and discovered that it covered a lot of IVF and a good chunk of surrogacy.
Wow.
And it was, he had only been at this company for 6 months. It was not why he went there. Turns out California based companies are required to carry some fertility coverage, which who knew? And his company is there. And so suddenly what seemed impossible felt possible. And it was like,
Mm.
okay, I think we can move down this road. But then how do you find somebody?
Yeah.
And even before how you find somebody, I really wrestled with, is this okay? Is this an okay thing to do? You
Mm.
I don't we haven't talked about this yet at all, but while we were in the hospital having our baby, uh, our
Yep.
our phones lit up. I mean, we are in the delivery room and our phones are lighting up with the Pope says surrogacy is despicable. And I was like, what? Um, but the truth is, he said that with good reason because the way it's handled in some situations and in some places is despicable and it takes advantage of women in some places. And I don't think he knows about other ways of doing it. And so
Mm.
at the beginning of this process, we were trying to figure out, is there a way of doing this where everybody is honored, where we're not taking advantage of anybody, where we're not going to look back and regret the way we've treated somebody in the process? And it really was in that first conversation with Gail that it became so clear that Surrogate Solutions was honoring the surrogates themselves and that this was not
Mhm.
transactional, that they were cared for. And in fact, I did deep dives into some Facebook groups who were saying, hey, this is where you want to go. If you are a surrogate, you're going to be treated well. And so it was really exploring at that stage, like, how do we do this in a way that honors everybody, that honors the baby, that honors ourselves, that honors our surrogate? Um, and that's kind of how we got to this particular agency.
Yeah.
And so then we had the same conversation that we had with every agency, which is to match with a surrogate, there is a 10-month waiting period.
Mhm.
At the time, that may not be true now, but then it was 10 months, and then you have to get pregnant. And they will probably live in a different state somewhere else, and you will fly to where they are when they have the baby. And all of
Mhm.
that was fine with us, except we were looking at our ages and going, 10 months means we could be a couple years from a baby. What does that mean for us? Um, and so you guys said, hey, let's just put your story on our Instagram and see what happens.
Yeah.
We had not signed any contracts. I was like, really? We had no formal agreements. We just said, okay, let's try that.
Yeah.
I know I'm speaking from a place of incredible privilege when I say this because this is not everybody's story, but our surrogate responded in 3 hours. And
Yeah.
she did not live states away. She lived 20 minutes down the same road as us. And it was this magical, I cannot believe it. There's no way that this could have happened by accident.
Mm.
There there is something orchestrating the universe moment.
Yes.
And it was I remember us dancing in our living room saying there's no way this is possible. This is amazing.
Mm.
And then we met and it was
Yeah.
incredible. I mean, it was just such an instant connection and instant shoulders drop. We're
When you
fine.
guys met on the match meeting. So everybody
Yeah,
decided, okay, yes, and now it's the match meeting.
yeah, everybody decided
Yeah.
yes, and we went to the match meeting. I don't think I've ever been more nervous. I don't think I've ever, like, tried
Feels
to
like
look
a
nicer.
first date. It's like a blind date. Yeah.
It's like a first date, except you talk about
Yes.
your reproductive system.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, it was the best first meeting, and I immediately thought, not only are we just connected, do I feel safe with her carrying our baby, but her husband was on the call. He and my
Mhm.
husband hit it off pretty quickly. We all were like,
Mm.
I think we might be friends after this. I think that's what's gonna happen." And that is exactly what happened. We were at their
Yeah.
house 2 weeks later for dinner and became really good friends.
Oh, I love that. I love that so, so much. Oh my gosh. You're so right. Like it all the puzzle fit. The puzzle fit. And it worked out so, so beautifully. So then not only have you guys since just become great friends and everything, but now you start on the journey and we
Yeah.
begin, just all that whole process of screening and psych and, just all of that. And you got to transfer day. Yay.
Yeah.
It was so exciting. And then it wasn't. How
Yeah.
was that?
So it was really hard. And
Yeah.
we did get some positive tests at home, and then it was negative.
Yeah.
Um, and I will never forget that. It's one thing to go through loss as a family, it's another thing to go through loss with another family. And
Mm.
to see our surrogate, we'll call her G to protect her privacy, to see G grieving with us and to see her
Yeah.
husband grieving with us. Um, in some ways, it felt awful because I thought, you don't have to be going through this. This is our
Mm.
journey, and now you're hurting too. But on the other side, it was so cementing in our relationship to say, okay,
Yeah.
we've gone through this together. Um, and we've gone through heartache, and I think you're in it for us as a family, and we're in it for you as a family, and caring for each other during that time was really it was honestly really beautiful, as much as it was maddening that it
Sure.
ended that way, because we were sure, right? When you go through all the
Yeah.
different things, as you start with a surrogate, it's of course it's gonna work. It's not gonna not work, but it didn't work, and we were heartbroken about it.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, more roller coasters and,
Mhm.
just all of that, all of that. And yeah,
And we
but
didn't have embryos to spare, so that meant going back to do more IVF, and G and her husband waiting much longer than they had signed up for us to
mhm.
do more rounds. There
I mean,
there
it's
was
a story or it's a journey for sure.
it's
It's
a
yeah,
journey.
not a sprint, it's a journey.
There was a second loss. I mean, that happened twice, where we went in with our one and only embryo and it didn't make it, and then we would go
Mhm.
back to create more embryos and more IVF, and they honestly they walked with us the whole time. not only them, their kids would like drop off hand drawings of encouragement notes at our house,
Mm.
and their kids were cheering for us, and they were, as much as they could understand, they were cheering for us to have a baby,
Yeah.
which was really, really sweet.
Oh my
Took
gosh.
a long time
Yeah.
to get there,
Yeah. Yeah. And then we got there.
and then we
What
got
was
there.
that? What was that like?
Oh, I don't think we were breathing for the first trimester.
I believe that. I believe that. Oh my gosh. And I should say, like, how was it? So you had those, I mean, three transfers. And
Mhm.
on every transfer day, despite all of the roller coasters, were you still having just that big hope, or were you just like, I'm just cautiously optimistic at this point?
Oh, super hopeful every time. I
Every
mean, we
time.
were so sure every time that it was
Yeah.
gonna work. When it didn't work, we were so heartbroken,
Uh-huh.
but we were so sure each time, and each time was different. I mean, some were better graded embryos than others. Some had, genetic anomalies, and some didn't.
Yeah.
Um, it wasn't both of our losses were boys, and so
Mm.
I was very hopeful when we had a girl that my girls are
Mhm.
strong.
Girls are strong, that's
Maybe
right.
it was gonna work with a girl, but no, each
Yeah.
time we were hopeful, and each transfer day had its own kind of personality for how the day went, but we
Absolutely. Absolutely. So then you started getting those positive pregnancy tests, and then we
yeah,
get
we
that
did.
good beta, and then we get to that ultrasound, and now you're just holding your breath.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We were over the moon when we got a positive, and then the betas were really strong, and all the pregnancy test lines were really strong, and it was like, okay, this is great. This is so wonderful. Also, hold on, don't get too excited. Be
Mm.
reasonable.
Yeah.
Because I think everybody tries to protect themselves after they've been through some losses, and
Mhm.
I don't think we were really excited. That's not true. We were really excited. I don't think we were able to like breathe or take a sigh of relief until that first trimester was over.
Mm.
Once we hit that first trimester, it was like, okay, all right, now,
Here we go.
now I think we can make it.
Yeah. What did that look like?
um, our transfer day was so interesting with this one. We had been through so much with our doctor. Um, through not only losses, but there were some mishaps in their clinic that were
Oh, wow.
disappointing that would cause us to have to start rounds over, and
Mhm.
things happening on our end. I got COVID in the middle of everything, and we would have to start a round over. And so by this last transfer, I asked our doctor who's on call for transfer day, and he said, "You've been through so much, I won't let anybody else do it." So he shows up on his day off, plain clothes, to come in and do the transfer. And every doctor we had seen was very serious. Our doctor, the one we regularly saw, he's a quirky guy,
Yeah.
and he's a big fan of Lord of the Rings. He's like the kind of fan who gets a Elvish dictionary and learns the language.
I
So,
love it. I'm here for it.
well, everyone we had met previously for every transfer had been very serious.
Yes.
This doctor repeated an Elvish blessing after he put the embryo in, and none of us knew that was going to happen. So he was just speaking this sort of strange language, and then he smiles, looks at us, says, "Live long and prosper," and takes off. And we were like, "Wait, what just happened here? What just happened?" And he was so
Oh
like,
my gosh.
just jovial and laughing through the whole thing that we thought, well, that's different enough. Maybe it will work. And who knew? It did.
Who knew? Just needed an Elvish blessing and some Star Trek.
Yeah. Who knew? That's all it takes.
Oh my gosh. That's hilarious.
Uh,
Wow. Wow. So you finally are able to breathe. How did you guys celebrate? What did that look like for you as you were just preparing and getting ready? And I mean, how did you continue to, grow your relation? I mean, you and your surrogate had already been through so much. You guys already
Mhm.
had such a close relationship. How was finally getting to this part?
This part was the best. I felt like so much of our relationship had been about healing together,
Yeah.
and she and her husband had been such a healing instrument in our lives, you know? Even as we were grieving our first daughter, so much of it had been about hurt, so much of it had been about loss, that to get to a point where we could celebrate was almost like, "Well, how do we do this?" And
Yeah.
so, we were so excited. I remember they brought this little cake over to our house the night before the transfer, and it just had the word hope on top. And we've
Mm.
got a picture of that cake at our house. We'll probably always remember us just sort of lighting a candle and saying, "Okay, this is it. We're still gonna have hope no matter what." And then once it was, like, healthy and we were good, it was celebration all the time. Every time we saw
Mm.
each other, it was kind of giggly and just so excited for each other. I did not personally enjoy pregnancy, so to see someone be happy and say, "I'm so thrilled to be pregnant," I was like, "Oh, that's interesting. I
Oh,
did
that's
not feel
interesting.
good at her the whole time, and so I'm so thankful that you are so excited with me," and so much of it was she just wanted this for our family, and she
Yeah.
was overjoyed. She was as glowing as I was, knowing that we were
Mm.
getting closer, and we didn't tell anybody for a long time,
Yeah.
um, because we had been through that and been through telling people early and telling people late, and so we just did not tell anybody really until 20 weeks, until we
Mm.
were kind of hitting some viability, and
Yeah.
then it felt like the whole world erupted when they knew. Everyone was so excited.
Oh,
That
I
was
love that.
really, really sweet. Um,
Yeah. Oh my
one
gosh,
thing
I love that.
one thing I've learned that I bet a lot of your intended parents have this experience. A lot of people don't know what surrogacy is, and I didn't realize that. I am shocked that in 2024 there are this many adults who have no idea that surrogacy and adoption are not the same thing. I have had that
Mm.
conversation over and over and over, and people are not dumb, like, it just doesn't come up in their life at all. They're
Yeah.
like, "Man, high school biology classes, like, help us out here. You gotta mention it."
Absolutely. So finally, whenever you are able to celebrate, it's almost like now you're also being put in a position to have to educate and
All the time.
in some instances defend.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I
Yeah.
very often was asked, "W will you adopt this baby? Do you think she will keep this baby?
Oh Lord.
Is she upset to give up her baby?"
Oh
And it
bless.
it well, yeah, and it's just people who had never encountered surrogacy and didn't even realize that it was our baby in her belly, our bun in her oven, and so
Yes.
there was a
Yes.
lot of education around it, kind of helping people understand, like, "Oh, none of those things are bad, this just isn't that. This is a different biological process. This is a different situation." So, there was a lot of education that had to
How
happen
is
early on.
Yeah, and how is navigating those conversations? I mean, I feel like that's so much to take on. You're still grieving,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
always. We will forever be.
yeah,
But like you're navigating that. You've navigated more loss. You're
mhm.
now hopeful, but we're still, cautiously hopeful. We're still, all of that. And now you're being asked to defend or educate. I mean, how are you navigating all of that?
Um, with small fits of rage.
Yes.
No, I try to be patient and remember that there are lots of things that other people go through that I don't know anything about.
Yeah.
and that I probably step my foot in my mouth more than I have ever realized. Most people
Mm.
were very worried about putting their foot in their mouth. They were very like, I don't want to say the wrong thing, but, and then they would say the wrong thing.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Yeah.
and so just trying to remember, like, nobody's heart was in a bad place. No one, I
Yeah.
was really afraid that there would be people who strongly disagreed with our decision, who would come out of the
Mm.
woodwork to tell us that. I work in a professionally Christian space, and there are a lot of people in the Christian community that would not support surrogacy. So I was very nervous about what some of those conversations might look like. Um,
Mm.
that was not my experience at all. Most people who came with support. They might have questions and trying
Sure.
to understand what we're going through, but I there was no need to defend. There was nobody saying this is a horrible thing to do. Everybody
Mm.
was super supportive, and in fact, it it sort of became apparent to me that everybody knew somebody who was struggling either with fertility or the decision to do surrogacy or with wanting to be a surrogate. Like there were all these different connections that people had that they didn't really have anybody to ask about it. And so
Yeah.
I got to be the person that they asked about it, which was kind of fun. I was a teacher before this, so I like the teaching aspect of it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I love that. I love that. I mean, that's hard. But that's amazing that you, amidst all of that, were still able to celebrate in that way of, okay, here we go. Like we're gonna tell more because this is my family's story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So what would you say before we get to the big delivery day? What would you say was maybe some of your most favorite or memorable moments? I know we've touched on some of them, but just looking back, maybe what were some of your
Oh,
big ones?
there were so many great moments. Every doctor's appointment was just like magic. Even if they were
Mm.
quick, if there was an ultrasound or we could hear a heartbeat, we had the good fortune to be in the same city
Yeah.
as our surrogate. So we got to go to every appointment and hear those things.
Yeah.
And every time it was magical. And our our surrogate is probably one of the most fun people I know. So anytime there was a doctor's appointment, she would be like, "Let's get brunch. Let's do something fun afterwards. Let's go to breakfast before." And so it was always like a fun day out, which was really it just made the whole process more exciting. And then
Mm.
for our second trimester, to celebrate making it to our second trimester, we bought matching pink combat boots
Yeah, you did.
because, what
Yeah,
a
you
weird
did.
thing to do. But just like us goofing around and wearing these matching boots and being in places where people would ask, "How do you know each other?" We're like, "Well, she's having my
Well.
baby. Let me explain."
More education.
It was so fun. And then, getting to, she was okay with us touching her belly. And so getting to
Yeah.
feel the baby move was just a big,
Mm.
beautiful moment that made it all feel real. Getting to talk to the baby and let her hear our voice was so special. But
Mm.
also watching her kids love our baby was, I will get like weepy talking about it. Her kids would read bedtime stories to our baby, and they would say bedtime
Mm.
prayers with our baby. And knowing that she was so loved from the beginning when we couldn't be there, it was just, it was so special. So there were lots of
Mm.
good, sweet moments on the journey.
I love that. I love that so much. So now we get to the big day.
Ah,
Delivery day. What was it like? Tell me.
I feel like I mean, I said from the beginning, I feel like we are so lucky with who we were matched with. And I feel like in so many ways that God put this match together, um, because our personalities fit so well. And so we decided that the delivery day was not going to be boring, that it would be fun. And so we brought games. We knew we were
Yes.
gonna be in labor for a while, so there were games. There was a, stand-up comedy video that we all watched together. There was a puzzle we all put together. It was we ordered, like, fun takeout for delivery. It was like, "Let's all have a party." And, um, and G was so kind from the beginning, from our very first phone call. She said, "You deserve to see your baby born. You deserve to be in the room where it happens. You need to see everything, and we just want you to know we're okay with
Mm.
it." And,
Mm.
I remember thinking, "That's really nice. I don't have to see that." Like, I'll just
It's really okay.
I'll just stay, like, back behind your head. Well, in the room is great, but, like, we don't have to see. And then when the time came, that was the most magical thing I have ever experienced in my life.
Mm.
There was no standing out of the way. The nurse looked at me and said, "Grab a leg," and I was like, "We are in this."
Yes.
And so, getting to watch her be born was so beautiful, and,
Mm.
of course, her husband looks at my husband and says, "Let's switch places, you need to see this." And it was just such
Mm.
a generous such an odd thing, to invite some other family to see that part of you, but such a generous way to handle it and say, "Hey, you shouldn't miss the opportunity to get to see this happen." And
Yeah.
so we were able to see baby Story born, and, I feel like we were very well prepared by our team for how that was gonna go. They're
Yeah.
going to put the baby on the surrogate's belly because she's still attached. That doesn't mean they're
Mhm.
handing the baby to her, it just means she's on the belly because she can't go anywhere else until
Right,
she
right, right, right. There's like a medical reason.
yeah, there is a yeah, physics would not let her go farther until that cord is cut. I feel like we were really prepared, and this I have to give a shout out to our attorneys who gave us the best advice. They said, "Look, when everything's happening in the room, it's happening so fast, and nurses and doctors are in and out. They don't know who you are. So you need some sort of pin or something telling them who you are, even just for insurance purposes, because the baby will go to your insurance and the surrogate will go to her insurance. And if that gets
Yeah.
mixed up, it's very complicated." So we had t-shirts printed, and all of us were wearing t-shirts in the delivery room that told the doctors and nurses who we were.
I am the mom. Yes.
Totally. We had Suro Mom and Baby Mama and Baby Daddy.
Oh, I love it, baby mama.
It was so fun, and so to get to be
Yeah.
there when they handed us our baby was so beautiful and special, and to get to share that with our best friends who are having the baby
Mm.
there with us is just it was
Yeah.
so special.
Oh my gosh. What was that what was that like as you're seeing this amazing thing. You've gone through so much. Everly is now a big sister.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. What was all of that? I mean, that must have been, again, your theme park that you've got going on with that emotional roller coaster. It sounds like it felt just so healing and you're going on this new journey.
Yeah, it was the first time I thought we made it. For
Yeah.
in years, there had not been a moment of like, "Okay, we're fine. Okay, we made it." And seeing her out, I was like, "Oh, this is so beautiful. We made it."
Mhm.
I had watched some surrogate births on YouTube to try to, like, get myself ready.
I love it because she's a research girl. She's a
Yeah,
research.
it did not work. I was not ready. I was a blubbering mess, and I don't know if you and I have even talked about this, but we only got to enjoy that moment for about 2 minutes.
Mm,
And they put, Baby Story on my chest for about 2 minutes,
yeah.
and she wouldn't start crying. She would start and then she would stop,
Mm.
and, eventually, the nurses came and said, "She's not okay, and we have to go to the NICU."
Oh
And
gosh.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
PTSD.
It very much felt like that. It was some of the same machines that our first daughter was on. It was some of the
Mm,
same phrases like, desaturation, meaning she's losing all of her oxygen. Her
mm.
heart rate was getting low, and what we learned was she was a little too eager to get out, and she thought she was out and took a
Feisty.
big deep breath when she was not out yet, so she got a bunch of amniotic fluid.
Ah.
So now it doesn't feel as scary. In the moment, it was like I cannot believe we had it for 2 minutes and that's all we got, and we're back in an NICU, and we're back on
Wow.
heart monitors, and we're back on breathing tubes, and
Mm,
we're just back in that space for a few minutes. It was not only was it awful to follow her, I had to leave our surrogate, who is still very much in the delivery process,
mhm,
and not knowing if she's okay. I think she's okay,
mhm.
and, like, just kinda grabbing her hand and saying thank you as I ran out the door did not feel sufficient at all for what she had been through. And so we spent 3 or 4 days in the NICU before we were able to go home, and that was
Mm.
scary, but, one of the nurses grabbed my hand and said, "Hey, just so you know, 39 weekers are a lot different than 26 weekers." And I was
Oh,
like,
I love
"Oh,
that.
yeah, you got a good point. This is not gonna be the
Yeah.
same story." And so
Yeah.
that was beautiful. We got to hang out with our surrogate and her husband a little bit in the hospital. They would
There
come
you
visit
go.
the NICU, and she was able to hold the baby in the NICU, which was the
Mm.
most beautiful moment to, like, get to say, "Hey, meet my daughter. I know you've met her from the inside out, but now she's on the outside."
Oh, I love that. I love that. And so story was good. She just got a little feisty.
Yep. She ended up being fine. She was just a little overly excited, so we watched her for a
Yeah.
few days, but then when we were able to finally bring her home, that
Mm.
was like, "Oh, we did make it. Oh, we've never brought a baby home before." We were able to get to walk in our doors and see our own family, and our family got to meet her, and
Mm.
we were able to show her pictures of her big sister, and all of it was really
Yeah.
sweet.
I love that. I love that. So after just, all of that, and I know you're still in it, right? Because
Mhm.
she's so little. What what was maybe some of the biggest surprises as you were going through this journey? And then maybe what advice would you give to intended parents as they're maybe discerning their own next steps?
Oh, the biggest surprise is I don't know that I ever who I might get weepy talking about it. I don't know that I would have ever predicted the relationship that I have with our surrogate.
Mm,
And that if I had to choose today, if I had to choose between being healthy and being able to carry
mm.
and having her in our daughter's life, I would pick her. I
Oh,
want our daughter
wow.
to grow up knowing her. I would never pick to lose our first baby, but I want our daughter to grow up knowing that somebody brave and kind carried her, that she, is going to get to know these people and her and their children for the rest of her life. And those relationships are so rich and beautiful. I would never take that away from her. I would never have predicted
Mm.
that. And so what felt like a not best case scenario has become a best case scenario. And I
Oh.
would have never predicted that. Um, I was really surprised by how long everything takes always. Um, and I mean, and it's nobody's fault. It just is there are lawyers and there are medical facilities and there are processes involved that just take a while, and
Yeah.
nobody will ever care about it as much as we care about it. So I'm not very good at personal advocacy. I'm not very good at having direct or hard conversations, but we have gotten good at it in this process, following up with doctors or following up with um, lawyers and saying, "Hey, this has to be done. It has to be done on this date." We've had to practice those skills a lot
Yes.
to push to get things to the finish line. At one point, I know you and I were like tag teaming somebody and emailing them
Yeah, I'm
daily.
pretty sure we were tag teaming a clinic or something at one point, and it was like, all right, I got it on this day, you get it the next day. I'll follow up on the next day.
It was like we have an army. We are coming to get this finished.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes. Oh my gosh.
definitely surprised. Oh, and the best surprise, there is all of this. I mean, all the blogs, all the forums, all the conversation online about
Mm,
attachment and what this means for attachment and bonding with your baby if you didn't carry them. And
mm,
it's fine. I wish I'd known, like, we were gonna bond the second they put her in my arms. It was not
mm.
gonna be as hard as I thought. It was not gonna be this horrible, difficult thing to overcome. I We are as bonded as my first daughter and I were bonded. It's
Mm.
fine. I wish I hadn't worried so much about that.
It's fine.
It's fine. The attachment grows faster with some people and slower with others, and it doesn't matter who gives birth to make that happen. It's fine.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh. Is there anything so aside from, the hey, it's fine as far as attachment is concerned, what advice would you give to day one, Crystal, going
Oh
through
gosh.
this?
I would have told day one Crystal to worry about it less. It took
Mm,
up so much brain space for so long, and I was so
mm,
convinced it wasn't gonna work out because nothing else had worked out to this point,
yeah,
that I think I didn't get to enjoy a lot of the journey that I would have enjoyed. Um, and,
yeah.
people say if it seems too good to be true, it is, but that's not always the case.
Hmm.
Our relationship with our surrogate and their family, there's nothing logical about it. It should not have been that easy. It should not have been that good. It should not be this special, and it is. And so sometimes things are just wonderful because they are. And I wish I could go back to day one and say, no, it really is this good.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that. Oh my gosh, I love that. So I have two more questions for you. So, one of the things, and we kind of already mentioned it, you're so good at celebrating Everly. And one of the things that I have admired so much about you and Tom's journey through grief is you have celebrated Mother's Day and Father's Day. You celebrate each other so well. And now you
Oh,
get to celebrate Mother's Day and Father's Day coming up with, Sweet Story. Do you think you're going to do something? How are you going to celebrate it this year? What do you think?
that's such a good question. I have no idea. We've never had a baby in our house. And I'm like, oh, yeah, we have worked so hard to make sure that we can celebrate these milestones with our heavenly daughter. I've never thought about it, but there's gonna be a baby in our house this year.
There is.
It'll be
There
so
is.
fun. I'm so excited about it.
Yeah.
And we will I don't know about Mother's and Father's Day. We are going to continue to celebrate Everly's birthday, and our Christmas tradition will just be part of Story's life. There's
Love that.
always a balance between, I think, whether your first child is living or not, a balance between making sure the second one loves them and making sure the second one doesn't feel like second best. And we're already in that tension of
Mm,
like, we want to celebrate Everly, but Story has her own life story too, and make sure that she feels honored. So we're going to continue to celebrate Evie's birthday
yeah.
and Christmas Day that way. But there's going to be some fun Story milestones that are just hers along the way too.
You get new celebrations
We
too.
get new ones.
Oh my gosh. I love it. I love it. Okay. My last question, as you've sat here and watched me, just with my codependent coffee, what what filled your cup this morning? Whether it's something silly or just something magical, what filled your cup this morning?
Oh, it's such a good question. Oh, she has started smiling, and
Stop it.
I don't know. If I'm honest, I don't know if it's gas or or if she knows what she's doing, and I don't care. It's fine.
It doesn't matter. It's perfect either way.
She just looked at me with that big old smile this morning, and I thought, I'm so lucky you can't ask for things yet because I would say yes to anything you asked in this moment. You want a pony? It's yours.
It's yours. We're making it happen, girlfriend. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
I'm gonna find this clip. I'm gonna send it to her when she's like 5. Be like,
that's
all right, here
right.
you go, girl.
A smile, she'll do anything.
Oh, I love that. I love that so much. Oh my gosh. Well, seriously, thank you so much for taking the time to not only just reflect on your journey with Everly and motherhood there and now story and her beautiful journey. I'm so grateful that you were willing to talk about just all of those aspects of your journey. And I am just so excited to celebrate this big moment with you. Oh my gosh. I could not be happier.
Oh,
Could not.
me
Yeah.
too. I'm so grateful
Oh my
you're part of this story. It was such a beautiful journey. So we could not say thanks enough times because we get to live
God.
out our little dream now.
You do. You do. Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And give my love to everybody. And I can't wait to just keep seeing all of your new adventures that you guys are going to go on. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of the Me, You, and Who podcast. We appreciate your time and hope you enjoyed our discussion today. As we wrap, we would like to remind you of some of the ways to stay connected with us and be part of the Me, You, and Who podcast community. Firstly, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform. Hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode and can stay up to date with our latest content. But that's not all. We also have an exciting YouTube channel where we share some bonus content, behind the scenes glimpses, and video versions of our episodes. Head over to your YouTube channel and hit the subscribe button there as well. And don't forget to click the notification bell so you'll be the first to know when the new episodes go live. For more exclusive updates, engaging discussions, and a chance to connect with fellow listeners, be sure to follow us on our social media accounts. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Egg Donor and at Surrogate Solutions. As a friendly reminder, the podcast is made possible by Egg Donor and Surrogate Solutions. If you're interested in creating a happy family, visit www.createahappyfamily.com to learn more information. Again, thank you for being part of the Me, You, and Who community. Your support means the world to us. Until next time, stay curious, stay engaged, and join us next time as we share journeys of creating happy families.